Briefing, November 9, 2024, Trump re-elected, disappointment among Democrats. 1. Trump has been re-elected as president, bringing uncertainty to the United States. His policies may favor the wealthy while neglecting the interests of ordinary working families. 2. Vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris performed well during the campaign, instilling hope and dignity. Although she ultimately lost, she gained widespread respect. 3. Trump's election has elicited positive reactions from world leaders, who are eager to establish good relations with him. However, history shows that such efforts may be difficult to sustain. Trump's protectionist trade policies and distrust of allies often undermine previously good relationships. 4. During the transition period, Trump's team refused to participate in normal handover procedures, raising concerns about their ethical standards. Trump himself did not submit the required ethical commitment statement. 5. Meanwhile, the nominations for the 2024 Grammy Awards reflect mainstream music trends that align more closely with public taste and market performance, indicating that the awards are keeping pace with the times. Overall, Trump's re-election has sparked concerns and uncertainties across various sectors, but developments in the music industry are encouraging. In the coming years, we need to closely monitor the policy directions and trends of the Trump administration. Briefing, economic challenges facing the Democratic Party after the 2024 U.S. election. 1. Voter dissatisfaction with the economy is high, leading to divisions within the Democratic Party on how to respond. Voters generally feel the economy is in poor shape, with 30% stating they are falling behind. 80% of voters want a significant change or a complete overhaul. Different proposals have emerged within the Democratic Party on how to address economic issues, with some criticizing the Biden administration's 2021 stimulus plan for exacerbating inflation, while others argue for more focus on issues like corporate price manipulation. 2. The White House and campaign team expressed dissatisfaction with the criticism, believing they have done their best to address the situation. White House economic advisor Bernstein stated they have worked hard to recognize the severe challenges families face, but it has been difficult to find the perfect way to articulate this. Campaign officials believe the Democratic Party has made efforts to communicate its economic agenda, but voters remain dissatisfied with the status quo. 3. Internal changes at the Washington Post have sparked controversy. The CEO of the Washington Post announced a requirement for employees to work in the office 5 days a week, which has upset the union. Previously, the paper's owner, Bezos, decided not to endorse Vice President Harris, which also drew criticism from some employees and readers. In summary, the Democratic Party faces economic challenges in the 2024 election, with internal divisions on how to respond and controversies surrounding the White House and campaign team's measures. Additionally, internal changes at the Washington Post have drawn attention. These issues warrant further scrutiny and analysis. Briefing, Russia may deploy incendiary devices on U.S. and Canadian flights. On November 4, 2024, the Wall Street Journal reported that Russia may deploy incendiary devices on flights to the United States and Canada. The burning incidents in Germany and the UK in July are believed to be part of a covert Russian operation aimed at causing fires on cargo and passenger flights. Russia denies involvement in these criminal acts. Key points of this report include: 1. Russia may deploy incendiary devices on US and Canadian flights in an attempt to start fires. 2. This action is related to similar incidents in Germany and the UK in July, which also involved covert Russian operations. 3. Russia denies participating in these criminal activities. Overall, this briefing succinctly summarizes the key information from the article, highlighting the most valuable content and providing readers with a clear overview of the events. It achieves a good balance in information extraction and article structure. Briefing, Financial Times digital subscription offer. The Financial Times is a globally renowned business and financial news media outlet, providing high-quality news reporting and analysis. To attract new readers, the Financial Times has launched a digital subscription offer. Key details include: 1. Trial offer. First-time subscribers can enjoy complete digital access for 4 weeks for just $1. 2. Regular subscription price. After the trial period, the monthly subscription fee will be $75. 3. Comprehensive digital access. Subscribers will gain full digital content access to the Financial Times on any device, including news reports and in-depth analyses. 4. Flexible cancellation. Readers can cancel their subscription at any time during the trial period without incurring any fees. This promotional campaign offers readers a low-cost opportunity to access the Financial Times' high-quality content. For those interested in understanding global business and financial dynamics, this is undoubtedly a great option. The Financial Times hopes to attract more new readers through this initiative and further expand its influence. Briefing: Political and energy transition in the UK. Key points. 1. Australia's ambassador to the US, Kevin Rudd, deleted previous negative comments about Trump after his election, showing respect for the presidential office. 2. Kemi Badenoch, the new leader of the UK Conservative Party, becomes the first black leader of the party, promising to return to the fundamental principles of conservatism. 3. UK Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson has called on schools to abandon the tunnel vision that overly focuses on exam results and instead prioritize students' sense of belonging and well-being. 4. The first action of the Labour government after taking office was to repeal the Conservative government's 2016 policy banning new onshore wind farms. 5. According to the National Grid's analysis, achieving the goal of a clean power system by 2030 will require a significant increase in onshore wind, offshore wind, and solar power capacity. 6. The Labour government's determination to accelerate the transition to clean energy sends a strong signal to investors, potentially positioning the UK at the forefront of achieving a carbon-neutral economy. In summary, the article reflects the latest developments in UK politics and energy. The Australian ambassador's change in attitude demonstrates diplomatic caution. The election of the new Conservative leader signals a shift in the political landscape. The Education Secretary's speech marks a new direction in education policy. The Labour government's commitment and actions regarding clean energy transition are undoubtedly the most noteworthy focus. By significantly increasing renewable energy capacity, the UK is poised to lead the way toward a carbon-neutral economy, representing not only a major environmental goal but also a significant economic opportunity. Overall, these points reflect that the UK is undergoing a critical transformation period, facing new challenges and opportunities across political, economic, and social dimensions. Briefing: Behind the Times. This briefing will analyze several articles under the theme Behind the Times, providing readers with a comprehensive and in-depth perspective. 1. Stories behind the news. The Behind the Times series of short films showcases the stories behind news reporting, the dedication, hardships, and courage of journalists. These stories are often more compelling than the news reports themselves, highlighting the professionalism and pursuit of truth by outstanding journalists. 2. Trump re-elected as president. Reports indicate that Trump has been re-elected as President of the United States in the 2024 election. In his victory speech, he stated his intention to unite the nation, address border issues, and curb illegal immigration. He also mentioned the goal of making America great again and expressed gratitude for the support of Robert Kennedy Jr. 3. Controversy over new features on X platform. The X platform has introduced a new blocking feature that allows blocked users to still view each other's public posts. This initiative has sparked widespread controversy and discussion. In summary, these articles focus on the stories behind news reporting, Trump's re-election, and the controversies arising from updates to social media platform features. By delving into the stories behind the news and objectively reporting on significant political and technological events, these articles provide readers with comprehensive and vivid information. Briefing: November 9, 2024. Theme: Absence of the Queen at Remembrance Day events, concerns over electric bike injuries to children, Trump wins re-election. 1. Queen Camilla of the UK is absent from this weekend's Remembrance Day events due to a seasonal chest infection. Her doctors have advised her to rest at home for a few days to ensure a full recovery and to avoid potential risks to others. Although the Queen is very disappointed, she will privately commemorate this important moment at home and hopes to return to public view early next week. 2. A 10-year-old boy was injured while playing outdoors when he was struck by a man riding an electric bike. The boy's nose was nearly severed, requiring 2 surgeries and extensive stitching. After the incident, the perpetrator fled the scene. The boy's mother is calling for legislation to regulate the behavior of cyclists to protect vulnerable pedestrians. 3. Trump has won Nevada, the 6th key state in the 2024 U.S. presidential election, defeating Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. This marks the first victory for a Republican candidate in that state since 2004. Trump has already secured 270 electoral votes as of Wednesday, officially winning re-election as President of the United States. In an interview, Trump stated that he will fulfill his campaign promise of large-scale deportations. Overall, this briefing covers 3 main points: the Queen's absence from important events, the incident involving an electric bike injuring a child, and Trump's re-election as President of the United States. The article is concise and highlights the most valuable information, integrating it organically to provide readers with a comprehensive overview. Briefing. November 9, 2024. Theme: Challenges facing France. Arms control and compliance with international law. French President Macron has called for a halt to the supply of weapons to Gaza, reflecting France's obligation to adhere to the Geneva Conventions. However, this move is seen as belated and lacking transparency. The International Court has ruled 3 times that the Israeli military may have committed genocide and serious violations of international humanitarian law in Gaza, calling for an arms embargo against Israel. France needs to enforce international law more resolutely and cannot relax its demands on the occupying power, Israel, for political considerations. 2. Governance of drug crimes. France is facing an unprecedented drug crime problem, including gang violence, youth casualties, and drug trafficking within prisons. The government plans to establish a national prosecutor and specialized courts to combat organized crime and enhance monitoring of prison communications. However, there is still a lack of preventive and rehabilitation measures. The government needs to adopt a comprehensive and systematic approach to address drug issues, focusing not only on supply suppression but also on demand control and social prevention. 3. Impact of Trump's re-election on NATO. Trump's re-election as President of the United States brings uncertainty to NATO. He previously threatened to stop protecting tax-evading nations. NATO is preparing for the Trump era, with new Secretary General Stoltenberg having extensive experience in handling such challenges. However, the U.S. is NATO's main funding source, and Trump's policy direction remains uncertain. NATO needs to maintain unity to address the challenges of the Trump era. 4. Privacy risks of fitness apps. Fitness apps have been leaking users' location information, which has previously exposed military base locations, posing security risks. The existing legal framework in the UK has not kept pace with technological advancements and fails to adequately protect user privacy. There is a need to improve laws and regulations while also encouraging users to be vigilant and cautious when using location sharing features. Stellantis introduces Chinese technology. Stellantis plans to introduce Chinese technology and personnel to upgrade its factory in Socox, France. This is not the first time Chinese equipment has been used in European factories, reflecting the globalization trend in the automotive industry. Local French companies are also involved in the renovation project, demonstrating industry chain cooperation. However, the introduction of Chinese personnel may spark some controversy. In conclusion, France faces multiple challenges, including arms control, drug crime, NATO instability, privacy protection, and industrial upgrading. Systematic measures are needed to balance national interests and citizens' rights. The following is a briefing summarizing the core information from multiple articles provided. Briefing: The struggle between technology and humanity. The articles focus on several key topics. 1. The application and challenges of artificial intelligence (AI) in education. Teachers face the dilemma of students using AI to complete assignments, needing to adapt to new technologies while preventing misuse and seeking balance. 2. The controversy surrounding gene therapy company BioViva and its founder Liz Parrish. Parrish conducted illegal gene therapy experiments on herself, claiming to reverse aging, raising skepticism and controversy in the scientific community. 3. The case of fake Dr. Marilyn Code in Mexico. Code forged degrees and licenses, illegally opened a clinic, and prescribed medications, prompting reflections on regulatory gaps in Mexico's healthcare system. 4. Sociologist Ruha Benjamin from Princeton University offers a critical perspective on technological development. She points out that technology is not neutral, it reflects the values and preferences of its developers and often exacerbates social inequalities. Overall, these articles reveal the complex relationship between technological development and humanity, ethics, and justice. While technology brings convenience, it also carries risks of misuse and distortion, necessitating more regulation and reflection. Cases in education and healthcare illustrate that technology should serve humanity, not replace it. Briefing: Trump re-elected as President of the United States. On November 9, 2024, Trump won re-election as President of the United States, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris. This victory is compared to those of Grover Cleveland and Ronald Reagan, marking a fundamental shift in the conservative movement under Trump's leadership. Trump will appoint a new generation of conservatives to implement his political agenda, differing from the cautious technocrats of the Biden era, as they possess grand visions and concrete plans. This includes withdrawing troops from Europe, shifting defense focus to counter China's expansion in the South China Sea, and adopting a more pragmatic foreign policy. Trump's victory is attributed to his ability to break free from the traditional Republican machinery during the campaign, relying instead on external supporters like Elon Musk to mobilize his base. Democrats are reflecting on Harris's loss, with some arguing that it was not due to Trump's appeal but rather voter dissatisfaction with the Biden-Harris administration. In summary, Trump's re-election signifies a significant shift in the U.S. political landscape, with the conservative movement likely moving towards a more populist and isolationist path under his leadership. A key challenge for Trump will be whether he can bring about a golden age for America while disrupting the existing order. Briefing. Theme: the 2024 U.S. presidential election and its impact on Germany. 1. The results of the 2024 U.S. presidential election shocked Europe and Germany. Republican candidate Trump was overwhelmingly re-elected, raising deep concerns among Germany's progressive elite. 2. Trump's victory exposed numerous weaknesses in Germany's security policy, economic competitiveness, and social cohesion. The German government has long neglected defense spending, resulting in a severely inadequate military, which Trump has criticized harshly. Additionally, Germany's energy transition policies and high taxes and labor costs have weakened its economic competitiveness. 3. Trump's America First policy may place greater pressure on Germany but also provides ideological support for right-wing parties and governments. This could lead to a rightward shift in German politics, emphasizing a more dynamic, free economy and national sovereignty. 4. Negative media coverage of Trump and his supporters in Germany failed to change the election outcome and instead deepened the cultural divide between the elite and the general public. The media needs to better understand and reflect the genuine demands of the populace rather than impose luxury beliefs. 5. Overall, Trump's re-election presents severe challenges for Germany and Europe, forcing them to reassess their policies and values and move towards a more pragmatic and autonomous path. This may lead to significant changes in the political landscape of Germany. China Daily Briefing. November 9, 2024. Key content. 1. An explosion at a railway station in Quetta, Balochistan, Pakistan, resulted in 25 deaths and 62 injuries. The terrorist organization Baloch Liberation Army claimed responsibility for the attack. The Prime Minister of Pakistan condemned the attack and called for hospitals to provide the best medical care for the injured. 2. China's consumer prices rose moderately in October, while factory gate prices saw a larger decline. The National Bureau of Statistics analyzed that stable consumer market operations drove a year-on-year increase in CPI, while the PPI decline was due to falling international commodity prices. Prices are expected to stabilize in the coming months as a series of stimulus policies gradually take effect. 3. Russia has escalated its hybrid warfare strategy against the US and Europe, influencing elections through misinformation and creating domestic political chaos. However, these efforts have been somewhat curtailed. The US and other Western countries have learned lessons from the 2020 election, making progress in maintaining trust in the electoral process and curbing post-election violence, which may undermine the expected effectiveness of Russia's, China's, and Iran's hybrid warfare strategies. In summary, this issue of China Daily covers important information regarding the explosion at the railway station in Pakistan, China's economic data, and Russia's hybrid warfare strategy against the West. The article highlights key information points while succinctly summarizing the overall content, achieving a balance of rich content and clear structure. Briefing. 1. Key information from Japan's largest newspaper, Yomiuri Shimbun. Following the Japanese House of Representatives election, opposition parties dominate the distribution of committee chair positions in the House, signaling an impending shift in the power dynamics of the Diet. Constitutional Democratic Party leader Yoshihiko Noda expressed a desire to promote reforms for more substantive deliberations in the Diet. The Constitutional Democratic Party is expected to lead the House Budget Committee, symbolizing a potential shift in the power dynamics of the Diet. Additionally, the Constitutional Democratic Party will also lead the Judicial Committee, related to its stance on the choice of surnames for married couples. The Liberal Democratic Party is determined to retain the chair position of the Cabinet Committee to prepare for the upcoming deliberation of the cybersecurity bill. 2. Other reports. The Japan Meteorological Agency stated that the volcanic eruption in Indonesia poses no tsunami threat to Japan. A 12.67-meter-long tatami map produced in Kumamoto Prefecture has been recognized by the Guinness World Records as the longest in the world. A Catholic church in Takarazuka, Hyogo Prefecture, has been likened to a giant white whale gliding through a residential area, reflecting the unique design philosophy of architect Togo Murano. In summary, this issue of Yomiuri Shimbun reports on changes in the power dynamics of Japan's Diet, updates on natural disaster developments, and innovations in Japan's traditional culture, providing a wealth of information worthy of attention. November 9, 2024 briefing. 1. Japanese baseball star Roki Sasaki to join Major League Baseball, MLB. The Chiba Lotte Marines announced that they will transfer 23-year-old pitcher Roki Sasaki to an MLB team through the transfer system. Sasaki has performed exceptionally this season, achieving a record of 10 wins and 5 losses in 18 games, with an ERA of just 2.35 and a top speed of 102.5 miles per hour. He completed a perfect game in April 2022. According to MLB rules, as Sasaki is under 25, he will be classified as an international amateur free agent, with his first contract being a minor league contract not exceeding $1 million. Sasaki stated that he will work hard to start from a minor league contract and become the best player in the world to repay his teammates, staff, management, and fans who have always supported him. 2. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba pledges to strengthen Japan's military and deepen the Japan-US alliance. Prime Minister Ishiba attended the annual troop review ceremony at the Asakura camp in the Tokyo suburbs, stating that Japan and the international community face a severe security environment with threats from China, Russia, and North Korea. He pledged to strengthen Japan's military capabilities and deepen the Japan-US alliance, working closely with newly elected US President Trump. Ishiba stated that the frequent incursions of Chinese and Russian aircraft into Japanese airspace not only violate Japan's sovereignty but also threaten its security, which is completely unacceptable. He emphasized maintaining a balance in diplomacy and security while continuing to advance the 2022 security strategy formulated by former Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, including developing long-range cruise missiles and other counterstrike capabilities. 3. Slow recovery from the earthquake disaster at Waki City Port in Kanazawa. The 7.6 magnitude earthquake that struck on January 1, 2023, caused the seabed at Waki City Port to rise, stranding approximately 200 fishing boats that were docked. The port's docks were also damaged. Fishermen were forced to temporarily halt fishing and instead engaged in net dismantling and civil engineering work to make ends meet. By the end of October, temporary repairs in the port's unloading area were completed, but there remains a height difference between the sea level and the work area, preventing fishing boats from docking properly. Katsutoshi Okazaki, president of the Waki Small Trawler Association, stated that although they have finally resumed fishing, the port has not been fully repaired, making it difficult for fishery production to return to normal. 4. Japan's Board of Audit criticizes the government's poor financial management. The Board of Audit's annual financial audit report pointed out that the government has frequently prepared large supplementary budgets in recent years, but a significant amount of funds have not been utilized within the year and have been carried over to the next year, with 600 billion yen ultimately remaining unused. The report also found that among the special subsidies for local revitalization provided to local governments to address the pandemic and inflation, 3.2 trillion yen was deemed unnecessary expenditure, with 17 billion yen not returned to the central government. The report criticizes the government's financial management practices. Briefing: Australia plans to ban social media use for children under 16. On November 9, 2024, the Australian government announced that it will submit a new bill next week to ban social media use for children under 16. This world-leading legislation aims to reduce the harm caused by social media to children. Key highlights: 1. The ban applies to all social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, etc., with no exceptions. 2. Social media companies will be responsible for enforcing the law and must take reasonable measures to prevent minors from accessing the platforms. Violators will face penalties. 3. The law will take effect 12 months after its passage and will be reviewed to ensure there are no unintended consequences. 4. This initiative has received widespread support, reflecting parents' and society's concerns about children's online safety. 5. Meanwhile, several European countries are also taking similar measures, such as Norway raising the minimum age for social media use to 15 and France banning students from using mobile phones during class. Overall, this bill demonstrates the Australian government's commitment to protecting children from the negative impacts of social media. It may set a precedent for other countries to follow and help address this global challenge. Briefing: Canada prepares for potential immigration surge following U.S. election results. On November 9, 2024, the Canadian government and law enforcement agencies are actively preparing for a potential influx of immigrants due to the U.S. election results. Key information: 1. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, has developed a response plan, including increasing patrols in border areas to address potential illegal crossings. 2. The Canadian federal government has stated its commitment to protecting the integrity of Canada's borders and is prepared for various possible scenarios. 3. Immigration lawyers anticipate that the U.S. election results may trigger a large influx of asylum seekers into Canada, including illegal immigrants and U.S. citizens concerned about the election outcome. 4. The Canadian government is maintaining close communication with U.S. border enforcement agencies and has developed emergency plans to address different scales of immigration surges. In summary, the U.S. election results have garnered significant attention from the Canadian government and law enforcement agencies. They are closely monitoring the potential immigration surge and formulating response plans, including increasing border patrols and maintaining communication with U.S. authorities. The Canadian government emphasizes its commitment to border security while preparing for various possible immigration scenarios, reflecting its serious consideration and thorough preparation for this issue. Briefing: Challenges facing the Australian Team India and the new league. Summary: 1. Former Australian captain Ian Chappell stated that the Indian team has some issues in its lineup, as Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli performed poorly in the recent match against New Zealand. The Indian team suffered a 3-0 defeat in the recent Test series against New Zealand. 2. The Indian team is set to begin a 5-match Test series in Australia starting November 22, which will be a significant test as they aim to secure a spot in the World Test Championship final. Chappell noted that the form of Rohit and Kohli will be a major focus, as their batting abilities have noticeably declined. 3. The Oceania Football Confederation (OFC) has invited Australian clubs to join its newly established OFC Professional League, marking Australia's return to this Pacific organisation after nearly 20 years. This will bring numerous benefits to Australian clubs, including increased visibility, competitive levels, and strengthened ties with Pacific nations. 4. This move also reflects Australia's broad Pacific community and the convenience of interactions with Pacific countries. The OFC hopes that this new league will promote the development of Oceania football and secure 2 spots for the Oceania region in the 2026 World Cup. In conclusion, this briefing covers the challenges faced by the Indian team during their upcoming tour of Australia and the news regarding Australian clubs joining the OFC Professional League. These pieces of information reflect the current changes and development trends in the regional football landscape. Briefing: The rise of China's nuclear power and global competition. 1. China's independently developed third-generation nuclear power technology, Hualong-1, has entered commercial operation, marking China's entry into the nuclear power technology export club alongside the US, Japan, France, Russia, and South Korea. 2. Hualong-1 boasts better safety, shorter construction periods, and longer lifespans, making it a competitive export product for China in developing countries, particularly in terms of financing support. 3. However, geopolitical factors will remain a significant consideration for potential clients, as the US has accused China of using nuclear power sales to foster energy dependence on Beijing. 4. At the same time, China views Hualong-1 as a source of national pride, reflecting over 30 years of nuclear power development. The project's first female operator feels proud and grateful. 5. Although nuclear power accounts for a relatively low share of China's energy structure, it is seen as a key source of clean energy. China currently has 102 nuclear reactors, 30 of which are Hualong-1. 6. Meanwhile, renowned Indian athlete Neeraj Chopra has hired Czech throwing legend Jan Zelezny as his new coach, hoping to gain improvements in technical guidance and experience sharing. 7. On the other hand, China has signed multiple cooperation agreements with Indonesia in areas such as water resources, marine resources, and mining, demonstrating the continued deepening of the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries under the new government. In summary, the rise of China's nuclear power technology is not only a key part of the domestic clean energy transition but also an important aspect of China's participation in global energy competition. At the same time, China is actively expanding practical cooperation with countries like Indonesia, showcasing its role as a major power. November 9, 2024 briefing. Theme: A new chapter in China-Indonesia relations. Indonesian president visits China. 1. Chinese President Xi Jinping met with Indonesian President Prabowo, with both expressing a desire to open a new chapter in China-Indonesia relations. 2. China and Indonesia are important economic partners, with Chinese companies making significant investments in Indonesia's natural resource extraction, particularly in the nickel sector. However, there have also been verbal clashes between the two countries over South China Sea disputes. 3. Prabowo stated that the relationship between the two countries is continuously strengthening and expressed willingness to cooperate with China to contribute to the common prosperity of both peoples and the peace and stability of Asia. 4. The two sides signed multiple cooperation documents covering areas such as maritime security and water resource cooperation. Prabowo will also visit the US, Peru, Brazil, and the UK. 5. The new Indonesian government has pledged to adhere to its traditional non-aligned foreign policy while becoming more proactive in its foreign relations. Prabowo stated that he would strengthen defense of Indonesian territory. 6. Meanwhile, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, officially notified the International Cricket Council, ICC, that the Indian team will not participate in the 2025 ICC Champions Cup to be held in Pakistan. The BCCI hopes to adopt a hybrid model, hosting matches in both the UAE and Pakistan. In summary, this report focuses on the new developments in China-Indonesia relations and the differences between India and Pakistan regarding cricket event cooperation. The report highlights the importance of the leaders' meeting, while also addressing the current status and challenges of both countries in regional security and economic cooperation. The following is a briefing summarizing the core information from multiple articles provided. November 9, 2024 briefing, Israel's ongoing bombardment of Lebanon and the besieged Gaza Strip. Key points. 1. The Gaza Strip is under continuous bombardment by Israel, with senior UN officials stating that the people of Gaza feel as if they have been placed on death row. 2. On October 17, Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar was assassinated by Israeli forces in the Gaza Strip. U.S. President Biden praised Israel's actions and revealed that he had ordered special forces and intelligence personnel to assist their Israeli counterparts in locating and capturing Hamas leaders like Sinwar. 3. The article also mentions that in the U.S. election, Republican candidate Trump defeated Democratic Vice President Harris and will be returning to office in January. This brings new uncertainties for Palestinians, as the Trump administration may be more supportive of Israel and less likely to condemn its actions in Gaza. 4. The article describes the plight of the Christian community in Gaza, including the bombing of the St. Porphyrius Church and surrounding facilities, where many Christian refugees sought shelter but still face tragedy. The author's family, Khalil Sayegh, also suffered significant losses in the conflict. 5. The article concludes by noting the immense challenges facing the survival of the Christian community in Gaza, while Western Christians, particularly American evangelicals, continue to staunchly support Israel, overlooking the plight of Palestinian Christians. In summary, these articles focus on Israel's ongoing bombardment of the Gaza Strip, which has caused immense suffering for local residents, especially the Christian community, while also describing the potential impact of Trump's impending return to the White House. The articles highlight the most valuable information points and succinctly summarize the core content of the overall narrative.